Hello and welcome to another edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV. My name is Dale Caffey. My very special guest today is Amy Mathews-Perez. She is the new principal of Hillcrest Professional Development School. And Amy, as I'll call you,
Yes.
or Miss Perez.
Or Dr. Perez.
Dr. Perez.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we'll talk about that also.
Okay.
Because you have grown up a lot since your time in Waco.
Yes, sir.
First of all, welcome back to Waco. I want the people to know that she's new to Hillcrest, but no stranger to Waco. Talk about that.
I am a product of WacoISD. I attended Parkdale Elementary, R.L. Smith 6th Grade Center, Tennyson Junior High School, and Jefferson Moore High School. So I'm a product of WacoISD, born and raised in Waco, right around the corner from the Richland Mall. And have lived here most of my life, except for the last 13 years, where I relocated to South Texas with my husband, where I worked in a couple of school districts down there. But I'm back home and happy to be here with both of my parents, and I have 5 brothers and sisters who are also in the area.
Right. Jefferson Moore, a school that was here in the 80s, and you are a graduate of 1985?
Yes, sir.
And from there, what did you do? From
there, I went to college and continued to go to college until December of last year. And taught at Laker Middle School, went to Baylor University and got my master's degree in speech pathology and audiology, went to Tarleton and got my mid-management certification, served as a speech pathologist in WacoISD for a couple of years, then served as a special education specialist in the special education department of WacoISD. And from that position, I relocated down to South Texas, where I served at the county alternative school, which was very exciting. Then again, as a speech pathologist in a campus, in a district, and then an assistant principal. And then I became the director of special education, which I've been doing for the last 9 years.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the change of heart you had, I guess, your senior year in college. You were telling me that prior to the interview, you were going to be and eventually became a theater arts teacher.
Correct.
But then you sort of shifted into special education.
Correct. I had always planned on being a teacher. In 5th grade, Vicki Vickery asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said, I'm going to work with students with special needs. So I knew I was always going to be a teacher. So I majored in education. Secondary education, because that's a really fun age. When you're in college, you feel like you can relate to them a little bit better. And being as my brothers and sisters and parents might say, a natural actress, being the youngest of 6, theater was the route I chose to go. But as a senior at the University of North Texas, I took a linguistics course, fell in love with language, and called my parents and said, I've changed my mind. I want to be a speech pathologist. And my parents lovingly said, that is wonderful. We support you 100%. You take care of that right after you graduate. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree, began teaching at Laker Middle School under the prowess of Jean Lessman. She was my principal. And went to school part-time and in the summers and in the evenings to get my master's degree in speech pathology and audiology.
Okay. You were here and then you left, you said, for about 13 years. It's hard to believe you were gone that long, but where did life take you beyond Waco 13 years ago?
It took me down to South Texas, specifically Corpus Christi, with my husband.
Okay. And you said you were at 2 school districts?
3.
3, okay. Can you talk about those?
Sure. My first job, when I moved to South Texas, there were no openings in the public schools, so I worked for the Nueces County Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, lovingly called NCJJ-AEP. So it was the alternative school for the entire county. So when the students got removed from their districts in the county, they came to our school. So it was very exciting. I did my first physical restraint on my 35th birthday with Veronica, I'll never forget. And from there, I had the opportunity to return to the public schools, which is where my heart has always been. So I took the opportunity to work in another district as a speech pathologist. And then as a speech pathologist, one of the elementary principals saw me interacting with the students and invited me to be his assistant principal. So I did that for 3 or 4 years, and then our special ed director position came open, and I applied for that and was hired. And then I was the special ed director in that district for 1 year, and then I relocated to Gregory Portland ISD, which is where I was for the last 8 years as the director of special education.
Okay, down on the coastland, Gregory Portland for 8 years. Now you're back in Waco, Texas. Tell me why.
Well, family, of course, and the fabulous opportunity to return to my alma mater, WacoISD. And then who could resist the opportunity to work at Hillcrest, PDS, the school of all schools? So it was the perfect opportunity, and so I would have been not, or unwise perhaps, to not take advantage of that. So it was just the perfect opportunity to return home to my family and work at a campus where I've worked before. I was a speech pathologist on this campus, so I know that it's a fabulous campus and it has excellent teachers and a loving family atmosphere with very involved parents, and so it was the perfect opportunity, so I jumped at the opportunity.
And normally an administrator like you were at Gregory Portland, about to start a new school year, under a new contract.
Correct.
And everything, something must have, I mean, you saw this job opening and something must have gone, this is not just any other job.
Correct. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I'd always wanted to be a principal. I'd always wanted to work at a campus because that's where you get your immediate feedback. That immediate gratification is working with the students and the staff. So working in central office was wonderful. I loved my job as the director of special education, but I missed that feedback from the students and the parents. And the grown-ups just don't appreciate a good cartwheel like an elementary school campus does. So when this opportunity arose, I just knew it was meant to be. It's what I always wanted to do. It's back home, and it's a fabulous campus. So it was a done deal.
As we are conducting this interview, you're in day 2.
Correct.
Day 2
Correct.
since coming back from Gregory Portland. I know this might be an unfair question, but your impressions so far of what you've seen at Hillcrest, its students, its teachers, its families.
Okay. Well, the building is just like I remember it. I can tell you that. All the wonderful pictures on the wall. And I am, my heart is happy working here. I love the fact that we help to get the students out of the car in the morning with the positive greetings and getting to meet the parents. And I love that our parents are very involved and we have lots of volunteers on campus. And the staff is excellent and has been very welcoming. So I feel right at home.
One of the things that sort of snuck up on this campus this past year, and I hate to bring up bad things, but not missing one of those indicators. And when you miss one indicator, you don't make
Correct.
Accountability standards. And it was an unfortunate incident, but how do you focus on something? Do you get the teachers really focused on where they fell short last year and how it was sort of flukish, but it happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, we work on that. We are in what's called improvement required. And so what we do is we look at the data and see what happened in the data to get us where we are. And then we just come up with a plan on how we're going to overcome that. And we have, I told the staff a couple of weeks ago at the meet and greet, we have the skill, the expertise, the talent, and the passion to make that happen. We just need to funnel it a little bit and use our excellence strategically, and we're going to take care of business and take care of our darlings.
Let's talk about the darlings here. I mean, how pleasant is it to walk through these hallways at Hillcrest and to see them lined up coming from lunch or lined up going somewhere, or pop in on a classroom and see them on task?
It's wonderful. It's refreshing and it's wonderful because as the special ed director in the past, typically when I was on a campus, the response was, "What are you doing here? What did I do? Why are you here? Please come back tomorrow. It'll be better." So I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to walk the halls, and some of the students have already learned my name, and so we give each other high fives, and it's wonderful. I love going to lunch duty and visiting with the students and visiting with the staff, and just to see the learning that's taking place is just really refreshing, and it's what makes my heart happy.
What are your goals for this year or the remainder of this year? It's still early. It's September, late September, early October. What visions do you have for this first year at Hillcrest?
Well, it's going to be a successful year, whether I'm here or not, because of the excellent staff that we have and their passion for their students and the family atmosphere. So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to become more familiar with the data. We're going to become more familiar with the STAR test and the rigor. We're going to address all of those things through learning, because we are a professional development school. Right. And in my perspective, that's not only developing these student teachers as professionals, but it's also developing our staff so that we can become more professional as well. So the way I see it, it's kind of a win-win situation. We all learn from each other through the entire process.
You went to Baylor University for graduate school, correct?
That's one of the universities, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, this is our flagship professional development school. It's been around since the 80s,
yes, sir.
I believe, or was it?
93.
93, I'm sorry. I'm getting back a little too far. But yeah, the early 90s, it's our flagship school. And how valuable is it to have those Baylor student teachers, interns, whatever you wanted to call them, in the classroom, helping the teachers, helping the students?
Right. It's something you can't get anywhere else. anywhere else. And my dissertation actually worked on bridging research and practice. So this is the perfect community to do that, because the student teachers are in their own classroom at Baylor, learning new skills, techniques, and strategies, and then they come and share those not only with our students but also with our teachers. So it allows us to be cutting edge in every element of education. So it's wonderful, wonderful.
And let's talk about that staff here. This may be a little unusual,
Yes, sir.
but you were sharing with me the fact that one of the teachers here at Hillcrest PDS was a teacher of yours when you were a student at Waco ISD.
Correct.
Share that information.
Miss Jennings was one of my elementary school teachers, and I'll tell you, when I first met her, reintroduced myself to her about 2 weeks ago, I did melt into an elementary age student immediately. But she mentioned that she remembered me. We're just going to assume those were good memories. And I am honored to be able to work with her, because she made such an impact on me as an elementary student. I mean, I'm old, and I remember Miss Jennings and her classroom. So I'm just honored to be able to learn from her and work side by side with her, with the students of today.
Very good. One of many on the staff that you have to treasure, because this is a great staff.
Absolutely. Very lucky. I'm very lucky. Their passion, their energy, their positivity, it's phenomenal. It's a joy to come to work. Even though it's only been 2 days. It's been a joy to come to work both days.
Well, as we wrap up this interview, I will invite you to maybe send a message out to the parents, especially parents of Hillcrest students.
Okay, thank you for that. I know that Waco ISD's motto is learners today, leaders tomorrow. I just wanted to let you know that that's very true. Waco ISD is a working district, a successful district. I'm a product of the district, and Hillcrest PDS is one of the best elementary schools, in my humble opinion, and we're going to have a great year, and that's only because of your support. And thank you very, very much, especially for the opportunity to be back in Waco.
Great. Well, once again, welcome back.
Thank you.
So pleased to have you here. Once again, this is Amy Mathews-Perez, the new principal at Hillcrest Professional Development School. My name is Dale Caffey. Thank you for joining us for Know Your Schools on WISD TV.